Hello, everybody. This is Brian Redgrave, the one and only, in his day number 8 of quarantine. And what better thing to talk about when we're on quarantine than a game that is all about survival horror? Joining me today in this discussion, spoiler discussion. This is not spoiler free. If you've never played this game, if you don't want to know anything, do not watch this video. Come back
Oh
after you
man,
beat the game.
definitely do not.
So, joining me, Mr. Castle,
Oh, Cameron, what's up, man?
Ash Williams, and Jordan. Jordan's camera is not working, so he's gonna have to be off camera.
Hail to the king. Damn it.
So we're gonna call Jordan the anonymous one.
Does he have a weird fancy mask on the other side?
So we're gonna be discussing Resident Evil 8 Village. Or is it Village Resident Evil 8? Or is it 8 Village Resident Evil? Who knows?
Oh, does it even
I
matter?
believe
Let's call
on
it
his game
Village.
trailers called it 8-inch.
Yes, 8 Resident
8-inch.
Evil.
8-inch.
It is weird though, right? Because Resident Evil 7 was called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, but the title of this on the game is Village Resident Evil. And that's
Right.
because Village
What up,
plays a
Prefect?
big role in the game.
Oh God, love it.
All right, so
Look,
before we start discussing anything, we're just gonna do a quick wrap up. I'm gonna go through all of you on your overall thoughts on the game, give the game a score, and then we're just gonna pick the game apart little by little. So Ash, just give us a 2-3 minute thoughts on the game and give it the game a score of out of 10.
well, I'm going to start off with the score itself. I give the game 9 out of 10. I really had almost zero complaints about the game. And I say almost zero because there is one, and we're going to talk about, I'm sure, in a little bit. But I really thought the story was well put together. I mean, there are, again, some glaring holes which the hardcore fans are like, well, what the hell? Like, for example, why Chris didn't tell Ethan anything. I mean, I guess he must have been drinking too much or
He's a known
something.
drunk in RE6.
Right, he's a known drunk. So,
All right.
I mean, the game was well. I mean, the gameplay was much better than 7. It was much smoother, in my opinion. Um, the combat was basically just almost perfect. If you're one of those weirdos that wants to go full sweat and with the machine gun through the whole game, the game plays that. Or if you want to play tactical, like us, hardcore fans, you can play it that way too. The puzzles are intense, and I love it. So,
All
you know, overall, 9 out of 10.
10.
Game is amazing.
Castle, what'd you give the
Sure.
game out of 10? And just a quick summary of your thoughts.
Okay. I give it also a 9. I would give it a perfect 10, but me personally, this is not a stab on anybody that likes that kind of shit. So bear that in mind. I don't have the attention span that I used to, so I don't like the backtracking, the constant castle, village.
We
Whatever.
knew this was coming.
How's
It
Beneviento?
took-
Yeah, the house
the 3
Benevento.
days, and that's
You know
the creepy ass
Yeah.
house.
Village. Yep, Moro,
Uh,
Village.
Anyway, but I have no complaints otherwise. The combat is good. I have a problem though with the combat, and one thing is that precision aim really isn't precision aim.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my one complaint about that. You don't actually
There was
look
no
down
aim
sight.
assist in this game. No.
Yeah, no, you don't look down sight like in most first-person shooter games. Like if you play
Right.
COD, of course you do. Of course you play COD. Well, when you look down sight, you look down sight. Not in this game.
No.
Not at all.
And you have a cursor marker. Just the hair marker.
It's actually better to actually side shoot, to pretty much side shoot.
Hip. You mean
No
hip
aim.
fire?
Yeah, hip firing.
Yeah.
That's not hip firing when not with a handgun.
I mean,
It's just-
well, not really, no, but I'm just in general, like you're firing from the hip. You're not fully
Yeah.
loading up. It's just, it's from the side.
Yeah, you're not looking at anything. You're just pointing and shooting.
Yeah.
So you give the game overall a 9. The thing that keeps it away from being perfect for you is you don't like backtracking towards the village.
Yeah.
And
The
you,
forward
Jordan?
progression is very slow.
What about you, Jordan? What do you give the game out of 10?
You see, I thought it was my favorite Resident Evil. Like I told you on
Wow.
that phone, the phone call we had,
Yeah.
it took over 4 for me. I thought it was awesome. Like it was awesome and shocking at the same time. Like the hip firing, I liked that more than the aiming. It was easier. But then the backtracking, like Casa was saying, I didn't like that. You're like going back and forth, I didn't like that part. The dollhouse, that was creepy, and I loved that they added that. Like one creepy thing in it.
Yo, aesthetically,
But-
it was a great game. Fantastic game. Perfect 10. Aesthetically.
So what do you give the game
Yeah,
overall?
yeah, it
Jordan?
was
What would you give the game out of 10? Would you give it a perfect
9.5.
score? 9.5. You're going technical. 9.5.
You know, I
was
have to
trying to
say
take the
this.
points out.
I'm really surprised nobody, here quick scopes in that game. It's actually super easy to get headshots that way. That's how I do it.
You don't have to if you got a fast gun.
All right. So
Yeah.
before we continue discussion, I'm going to give my quick summary real quick. I agree with the three of you. I give the game a 9 out of 10. Now, my problem is not the backtracking. I actually didn't mind going back to the village every time because every time you go back, you find new treasures, new areas. Oh, now you got a crank. Come on, let's see what's under here and whatever. So I did not mind that at all. My only my only issue was that not all the 4 lords got as much attention to the area. For example, the castle and Heisenberg's factory lasts a good amount of time.
That section is
you're able to
huge.
explore a lot and learn a lot and see a lot of new mysteries. Where fucking Moreau's section is actually really short in comparison. Not much to do. It's just this scripted segment of going through the water until you fight him. That's it. House Beneviento, the scariest part of the whole game. It's amazing. I love it, but it's also similar. It's all short.
Scripted.
Once you know what you got to do, you replay the game. You go like that through House Beneviento. And then the other problem is the final boss with Miss Angie and the doll. It's not even a fight. Like the first time, it was cool, but then you play in higher difficulties, and she doesn't even really change hiding positions, meaning there is no difficulty at all there, no matter what difficulty you're playing.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you kill
Once
her.
you know
in a
where she's
second.
hiding, she's gonna be hiding pretty much in the same spot where you see normal, hardcore, Village of Shadows, making that fight not really a fight. Because of that, I wish all 4 of the lords got equal amounts of love by the developers. Because of that, I give the game also a 9 out of 10.
My issue were the holes in the story. Like, why? First of all, how the fuck did Miranda find Rose in the first place?
Yeah, the game doesn't answer. Yeah, the
that's
game
a
doesn't answer any
Great
question.
question. Look, I know the Duke's gonna stay mysterious, just like the salesman in RE4. But damn it, man! At least explain how that needs to make sense to me.
Yeah, the game just tells you that Miranda. Again, spoilers, everybody, if you're watching. Miranda swapped with Mia at some point, but how long? Like, when did she do this? How long was she in hiding like this? Why did Ethan not notice his wife was not his wife?
Yeah,
Had he been sleeping with her? Like, we don't know any of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would notice, a different vagina. Seriously, not to get graphic, but like, who would notice that?
Yeah, the game doesn't tell you. And something you said earlier, and I think everybody here might agree to that. Chris not telling Ethan from the beginning what was going on made no sense.
That made no sense at all.
It made no sense.
It just made him look like a drunk douchebag.
In Miranda's defense, if she genetically copied Mia, she would have been the perfect copy.
True.
And it worked. Just think about it like this. Each cell has a memory. And if she genetically copied her to the T, she would be able to mock Mia. It would be indescribable
Okay,
how she could blend in.
Look, I will say the power of the Mega Mycete is ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely overpowered as hell. Thank God it got blown up. That
But you do agree that Chris not telling Ethan the plan made no
He
sense.
probably didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
he knew that Ethan was a dead man walking. I don't think he knew.
He didn't know that, but he knew about Miranda being Mia, and he didn't tell Ethan.
He just went in and
He knew
shot
about
her
her
in the
present
face.
period.
He just went in, They took him by force, and like in my opinion, Chris doesn't act Chris-like in this game. I don't like that.
He's a little more heelish.
Yeah, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't
He's
go
like
with
the
Chris's
original
character. It doesn't go with Chris's
Resident
character. I
Evils,
don't
you know?
like that. I don't like
was-
the direction Chris took.
It was really only in 5 that Chris went like superhero out of nowhere, you know? Because even in Resident Evil 1, he was smoking cigarettes. Fucking, you know, he was already really gruff. You know, him and Barry were really good friends. Why? Because they liked to drink. You know, and that's all in those.
Did anybody pick up on the fact that when Chris broke into this dude's house, that he was wearing the same coat that he was wearing in 6 when Pierce found him in the bar?
Yeah.
If he did that, I did
Yeah.
not notice. I did not
Yeah,
notice.
I did. It was that same coat.
He was in that
Really?
drunk mode, Chris.
Yep, he was it. He was in alcoholic mode, and they did as soon as you start a section.
See? Detail.
And I
yeah,
noticed that.
Detail.
yeah, he's right about that. Like I said, right now he's being drunk, Chris. It seems that way.
Yeah.
Even when he got in the plane, he like yelled at Mia. He like almost was like
No,
a dick to her.
the plot twist for me is that the BSAA is the new umbrella.
Yo, listen, first of all,
That's the
they're
plot twist
sending
for
in
me.
bioweapons to kill bioweapons? What in the fuck? Can we please talk about this? I've had no one to talk about this with.
So now that begs the question: where's Jill? Where is Sheva? Where is Joshua? And the list goes on. I'm having a brain
If
fart.
you don't
Listen.
know, if you don't know, if you haven't played the game, you don't care about spoilers. In the other game, the BSA briefly shows up. They're all masked, so you just assume they're normal soldiers. By the end of the game,
Doesn't explain that
it
either.
becomes known that they're actually weapons. They're bioweapons. They seem to be zombies and such.
Mhm.
So the BSAA seems to become the new umbrella. That's what they're talking about.
Yep. And no,
That's where the spoilers come in,
here's
right?
the other thing. I know Leon works for the president's office.
Nope,
Okay,
you
that's
don't work
the
for
big part.
BSAA. That's right. Leon works
he
independent.
has no affiliation with the BSAA. So
Mhm.
I am almost certain that Chris and Leon are going to meet up again in like a much more serious way. Because
And I don't
that's
think
the
Rebecca
way it
does either.
seems. Because, you know, you always kind of got the feeling that in Resident Evil 6 that, you know, Chris's and Leon's paths only crossed because of that very specific situation.
Mhm.
You know, it was a very specific set of circumstances. So if you add that all together, really, and Chris going rogue right now, he could be working for another agency like the CIA, NSA, anything like that. You know,
Wolfhound
the
Squad.
Wolfhound Squad, yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, so they're private military. They could do anything.
Yep. They're
Um,
PMCs.
So
Yeah,
I ask you
PMCs.
all, I'm pretty sure everybody here is already aware of it. Jordan, I haven't talked to you about it, but Ada Wong was cut from the game. She was in the concept art.
Ass. That is total ass.
She was originally supposed to be in the game, and
That-
she was not.
She
in
deserves
the,
a
she was-
solo.
She,
Yo,
yeah, she
I
was
feel
not
like
put in the game according to Capcom. The commentary on the concept art because of conflicting, I guess times you could say. How do we feel about Ada Wong not being in the game after she had been planned to be in the game?
we would. I think unanimously we're gonna thumbs down that. I think she should have had a solo game years ago.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Guaranteed.
years ago.
She's one of the best characters
so-
to play with in RE6.
Hold on,
Dopest,
hold
yeah,
on.
one of the dopest
Listen,
characters to play with.
Hold on. I have something to say about that. Something interesting. Every single time we've seen Ada Wong, what is she doing? Working for who?
Secret agent shit, double agent stuff, selling
Triple
shit
agent.
on black market.
Triple
Usually,
agent by-
usually
I mean, triple
Wesker.
agent.
Yeah,
Hold on.
usually, yeah,
Her-
straight up rogue.
Right. But for the most part, working for Wesker.
Most part, yeah.
That her biggest role was in Resident Evil 4 and in Resident Evil 2. And, obviously she was both times working for Umbrella. But the second time it was more for Wesker.
Yeah,
But it
but
was still
Wesker
the
dies
same
in
thing.
5,
Yeah, but
and she's
Wesker's
in
dead,
6.
so- yeah, she's
Right.
in
So who is she
second.
working for now? She works
That
for
is the
whoever
big
pays
question.
her the
That
biggest
is
money.
my fucking question.
Whoever has the cash.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whoever's got the money.
It's probably
got the
the
apparently-
pussy.
highest bidder, so
and-
it could be anyone.
And the concept art, she was supposed to rescue Ethan when Ethan was captured by the Four Lords. Obviously, we know
Really?
Ethan escapes by running away after Heisenberg sends all the Lycans towards him. I think Ada saving Ethan over Ethan just running away and escaping and making them think that he was dead
Would have been better.
would have been a much doper way to go. Even if Ada didn't show up again in the game, even if it's just to tease her return, I think that would have been dope. Would have been dope.
Yo, she could have broke into that fight scene like right towards the end of it. At least let you know it's like a 2-minute scene. You sit there and survive for 2 minutes. She could have broken, did some Halle Berry shit, John Wick shit, and fucking made that shit total dope.
So hold on a
Absolutely.
second. What if Capcom fucks with us and cut her from the original normal story to then later on all of a sudden drop an Ada Wong DLC where she secretly under everyone's nose collected pieces of the Megamycete in the mold and
Possibly.
those Cadu things in the jars.
That is something Ada Wong would do.
Yeah, exactly.
She's always trying to grab the sample.
The only other thing, it's not DLC.
You like that, right?
Yeah, that's good.
It's
That's
not
good.
DLC. The only other thing that would make sense is that maybe they're planning to have her come back in another game, like Revelations 3 has been rumored for months now. The only other thing that would make
game's
sense. 'Cause
Probably gonna
what-
be amazing too.
What else? What other reason conflicting could there be for Ada Wong not to be in the game? We haven't seen Ada Wong since RE6, which takes place in 2012, and this game takes place in 2020. It's an 8-year gap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. I don't know. I
So
really
either-
don't know.
Either they're just bullshitting, or maybe they have plans for Ada Wong and something else.
There's definitely plans for her, and if they say conflicting timelines, there's something that she's doing there.
So
What?
But-
How about this? How's this for a theory? And this actually makes more sense than any of it. What if she works for the Chinese government the whole time?
That would be some political shit right there to throw into some
considering
Resident Evil.
RE6,
They want their hands in everything. Why not bioweapons?
That would
Just a
make some
theory.
sense.
Just a theory.
Listen, I that makes sense.
She's Chinese.
Politically speaking, yeah, she is. She is. That's true, man.
Look, hand shred. Look, yep, sorry.
It's a point. I'm just saying it's a personal point, but it would make some sense. And I'm not saying it would be the greatest way to go either.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not going to talk
Putting
about
some
the current thing
politics
that's
into
happening right
Resident
now,
Evil and
right?
shit, that would be a little weird, but it's possible.
Redgrave, you know where I'm going, right? You know exactly where I'm going. We all talk about some current situations that are happening right now that they're like almost directly involved in. So,
it's interesting that this game and the remake of 3 came out during this pandemic. So Jordan, you're so quiet over there. Let's start dissecting this game. Out of the Four Lords, so Heisenberg, Moreau, the ventriloquist, and Heisenberg, which was your favorite of the Four Lords?
wait, you forgot
I don't-
Dimitrescu.
Did I forget Dimitrescu? Dimitrescu.
Yes, you did.
Everybody knows.
Oh
who
my
the Four
God,
Lords are.
no, you didn't. The
After all
one that
those
everybody
videos
wants
I've
to
been
talk
sending you
about.
over,
Are you fucking
Yeah.
serious right now? Oh
So Jordan, out
no!
of the four lords, we're not including Mother Miranda. Out of the four lords, which one was your favorite one?
Well, I did enjoy that, that baby sit and the dollhouse sit. I enjoyed that one. That
So
Go
creepy
back
uh,
to the
baby.
That was
intro.
some scary ass
that's
shit.
ventriloquist, yeah.
But
Donna Angie.
but that doesn't count. So I'm gonna say probably Monroe. I felt sad for him because he
Monroe.
was lonely and stuff. Yeah, he seemed like a good
Really?
guy in the end.
That's
He seemed like
interesting
a good
because
guy.
Monroe was actually my least favorite of the four.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's the power of opinion, right? That's the power of opinion.
Yeah, that is true.
His
But he just
boss
Monroe was
seemed
fight
like a
was
actually
nice
interesting.
guy.
my least favorite one. Yeah,
See,
Monroe.
true story. I like Dimitrescu and Heisenberg evenly, but I'm gonna give it more to Heisenberg because they gassed us up with Dimitrescu, and she was actually very lackluster.
But
So
that's the thing.
I destroyed her,
That's the thing.
bro.
Capcom did not
She
gas us up.
never killed me. Never.
The
Not one
well,
fandom
time.
I'm
gassed her
saying,
up.
yeah, they
Yeah,
gassed her up.
See, Capcom gassed her up after the fandom went crazy for her. Marketing. You got to market what's popular. People
Cosplay.
loved it. But
People were
Capcom never
cosplaying her.
actually gassed her up. The fandom did, which is what made it. Yeah, I agree. It's what made it somewhat underwhelming once you realize she's only really the first major boss.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thought I wanted to see more of her.
So you are Heisenberg, Jordan was Moreau, Ash. Who of the four lords was your favorite one?
Look, although I destroyed her, I really loved Dimitrescu's entire castle deal, and let me tell you why. And it's because of fighting her vampire children. I thought those fights, although easy and super quick, and I destroyed them all, they were really fun, and I like their design. I like the gothic feel in there. I just really like that feel, and even in like Resident Evil 4, a lot of people didn't like the castle section. It was slow. I liked it because it was creepy. It's like a very old castle way. So I got to give it to Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu. I am gonna have to agree with Castle. I love Dimitrescu, but
Heisenberg's a fucking
Heisenberg
dope.
has that dickheaded personality because he's
Yes.
a dickhead.
Negan.
And yeah, Negan.
I'm gonna
And
kill
then on
that
top of
boulder punching asshole.
And then on top of that, his creations, they're creepy as hell.
Yeah, that part was
His
very
whole
good.
area is just twisted in all the right ways. So even though I do love Lady Dimitrescu, I would have to go with Heisenberg. Heisenberg's personality when he talks, he has charisma. His character has
Yes.
charisma. And that is what takes him, in my opinion, just higher over Dimitrescu. Yeah, if we were to say which is your favorite part, I do love the castle more than the factory. But as a
Yes.
character, Heisenberg to me, he's just oozing with personality
More depth.
and energy,
Yeah.
and yes, more depth.
See, I
More
was
depth.
about to say
Because he
I
wanted
like
to betray
that-
Miranda.
that's true. Yes, and I have something to say about that in a second. But I love Heisenberg's factory. Listen, that is my second favorite, and by a
I like
close
the
amount.
creatures there.
Listen, that is what makes that fucking place so.
Mhm.
Oh my god! Listen, and they just come out of nowhere and start stalking you with their drills and their messed up flesh and
I
stuff.
think somebody's headphones are acting up. There's a crackling noise going on. I don't know why.
Is it coming
Did you
from
hear
me?
anything?
And you sound like a robot now, sir.
Oh,
Who?
me?
Yes.
Yes. Who's the yes?
Yeah, you sound like a robot.
Okay, it's
so
you.
it's me. Okay, hold on a second. Any better?
No.
Ah, crap.
I would
Testing,
say
testing.
unplug them.
I'm clear.
Huh? I did just unplug them. I don't know. It may be my phone as well. Hold on a second. I'm gonna try.
Let's give him a second to figure that out. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Camera for a second.
So while he does that, you guys heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not just me. So
Yeah, I
what
was
he,
just making sure I wasn't doing it.
yeah, no, I wasn't sure who it was, but then he started talking, and then the robot sound started happening.
Yeah, we was talking at the same time, so I stopped so he could go ahead and speak, so you could hear it.
So that is, while he does that, what was your least favorite part, Castle? Or the Four Lords area?
How
What
about
was your
now?
least favorite? You sound perfect.
Am I
now.
better?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's better.
Hello,
Least
sire.
favorite part.
This is my other headphones.
Because it took me so
My
long to
least
do it,
favorite-
and it was so simple. Beneviento. That was my least favorite part.
Your least favorite part, yo, that was the
Because it took me so long, right? It took me the longest to do that shit, and that's because I was being,
The word that I said.
yeah, that thing. We're not gonna say the word of the day is not to be said. So I was being. I admit it.
It's
Jordan,
okay. It happens.
Jordan, what was your least favorite area? What part of the Four Lords? So you got the castle, the factory, House
But I
Beneviento,
do like that baby creature thing.
and then Moreau section. Which is
That thing
your
was
least
fucked up,
favorite
dude.
section?
Not for nothing. That baby creature was
Twisted.
wrong. That shit was
Twisted.
wrong. Dude, that shit had me like.
Dada,
I
dada.
was like, dude, that messed me
That
up a
shit is
little bit.
haunting. That shit fucks with your brain, especially with headsets on. Dada, dada.
No, dude, you don't understand. When you have the stereo system that I had before it took a shit on me because somebody dropped Jack Daniels on it. It was me. I had surround sound in my room, so you would hear shit coming from the left and then the right all of a sudden, and it was weird. That shit was super weird in that house, dude. That house was super creepy. And then the whole thing with the Mia's body,
Yeah.
that doll, right? That shit was super weird.
That's like playing Operation.
Yeah.
It's some dark shit.
Yeah, it's an operation with a big twist.
So hold
Yeah,
up,
with
hold
a
up,
fucked
hold
up
up,
twist.
hold up. So Jordan, you were saying your least favorite section is?
I'm gonna agree with Casso. Say House whatever the hell it is. Beneviento.
I'm gonna
Only
go with
because
Moreau,
boss
though.
fights.
Like, go ahead,
I was
Jordan.
All right.
Boss
Only
fight. You said
because-
boss fight. What?
Yeah. Boss fights should never be that damn easy. They should always be special and a little bit hard. That's why. It was so easy to find her playing hide and seek. I didn't like that part.
How about you, Ash? Least favorite part in
Moreau. Yeah, look, I like killing him. It was a fun boss fight, but I do that now with my eyes closed. He's dog water. Ding 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 ding.
I agree. I think Moreau section is definitely my least favorite. It's way too simple, and there's not that much to it either.
There's nothing to it.
There's really nothing to it. Just run, just get everything in place, and then just
and
fight.
then shoot a couple of bullets here and there.
Yes, the Donna and Angie fight is completely underwhelming. The first time is cool. The first time I found her twice, and I could not figure out where the hell she was the third time. Right. So the first time is dope, but once you figure out where she is and you play the game again, and all of us, I think, have played the game more than once, it's just too easy. But I would not say House Beneviento is my least favorite because it was actually, to a degree, it was actually my favorite because it was the scariest part in the game. The first time I was playing that whole section, I was putting my headphones. I had to take a break. I was like, you know what? No more headphones for now. The whole
That shit fucks with you, right?
Yeah, the
All right,
baby
look.
section, the Mia on the speaker, the dead body, what's like Mia's dead body. That whole section was scary, creepy, terrifying, and I will go as far as to say probably one of the scariest sections in Resident Evil history.
I definitely agree with you, especially for a first-time player. I thought the village was creepier though, because to me the village stays creepy. Like every time that you do it, because you know there's danger lurking in every fucking corner, and you're just like with your shotgun waiting for the zombies to come through. Me with the Magnum. I like the PZ.
Let's all acknowledge that, and let's go one by one. Castle, your first reaction to the Lycan attack in the beginning of the game.
That shit was fucking intense. My heart was ready to jump out of my fucking chest because it was my literal first time ever playing the game, and I managed to get that far. And I only had that little rinky-dink fucking handgun with the taped handle.
Yeah,
Bro.
you felt like a boss, didn't you?
Bro. Fucking yo, they were everywhere. Everywhere you turn your head, quick turn. The down in a circle still works. It's a quick turn. So everywhere.
Jordan, what was your first reaction to the opening of the game?
Whoa. Wait. Okay. That shit was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you really, like he said, you only have one damn handgun, and this is gonna kill all them damn fuckers chasing after you? Hell no. And there was really nowhere to fucking hide.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yo, there really wasn't anywhere you could hide. And what's crazy is it gets worse the higher difficulty you go. It gets worse, dude. Because Village of Shadows, holy shit.
Let me just say this. In Village of Shadows, in that opening section, I went to the house where you find the shotgun. I went on the ground. I stood like a coward in the one corner, just waiting for all of them to come to me so I could take them out one by one and say, we're coming. I was fucking terrified to move out of that area.
Yo, dude, they were swarming your shit in that. Yo, I was like, wow. Dude, there was just waves of enemies.
Like,
yo, the section
was pumping. And then the way the game does it, you start the game real slow, right? Going in, you can't do it, you can't run. Oh, you hear sounds of Lycans, but you don't see them, right? And then eventually you see them one running off in the distance. And then you get to the village. And then you get sworn. All of that, I was nervous as hell throughout the whole thing. I was nervous as hell. The game played that so perfectly in the opening. Even when you get the shotgun, I was still terrified.
Yep. Dude, because it doesn't. And dude, the stronghold. When you finally get to the stronghold before you fall, oh my God. That section is fucking insane. Like, to be honest, that's one of the hardest sections in the village. Dude, they just start swarming you, and not even the easy enemies, the hard enemies. They're so fast too. Dude, I died there a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
the first time I was there, the Lycans just kept on coming, and I'm killing. I eventually die. I'm killing. I'm like, yo, when is this gonna stop?
Yes, that's where I was at. I was like, yo, I'm almost out of bullets here. What the fuck?
Yeah, absolutely. And then at the end,
I found the shotgun while it was going on too, and they only give you 2 rounds, so that's only 2 kills for sure, and then whatever you got left in your handgun.
2 kills, my God. Sometimes you shoot the fuckers twice with the shotgun and they'll still stand up.
Yeah.
That's where Ash's little quick scoping thing comes into play.
Yeah. See, I'm a pioneer of the quick scoping technique. Not for nothing, so I really like that technique. It's easy to headshot them that way. But even sometimes in Village of Shadows, dude, they move so fast. It's hard to hit them. Sometimes I felt lucky getting the shots I was getting. I was like, what the hell? It was insane. It was fast, and they were just all over the place. And they dodge. They
Village of Shadows, the enemy takes so much. I mean, it literally takes 2 magnum shots just to put down a regular guy. Yeah, 2 magnum shots. So imagine shooting these guys with a handgun. You're gonna be there
sometimes forever. 3. Sometimes 3.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and the guys in Heisenberg's factory, when they're all armor up, my God.
It's like your handgun, your magnum turns into a handgun. That's what it is. It does. It turns into a regular handgun. Have a good day.
Question. There's a question for the room. Was anybody else besides me delightfully confused about the Tim Burton opening?
Listen, when I first started it,
slightly, I'll give you that.
The game, the only thing that crossed through my head was, is this Resident Evil right now? Like,
right? Yes.
Am I playing the right game?
I was delightfully confused by that.
It was interesting. It was very cool.
Yeah,
I like the way they did that.
They opened the game letting you know this is gonna be different.
And
They let
it's gonna
you
be
know,
creepy
and
too.
that
Yeah, they
first
Because
don't-
that's
season,
a
they
creepy
let
ass
you know
children's
this is
story.
different. Yeah.
That story is creepy as hell. It was very
Gotta give
weird.
credit though. Like I said, they let you know right off the get go. This is gonna be the most different Resident Evil game you'll ever play.
Yo, what if Tim
I-
Burton sues them for that opening? Because they really look like Tim Burton characters.
I mean, I really hope
I'll
that
be
Tim
listening
Burton
for
is
it
not a
down the
cop,
road.
you know.
So I'm gonna ask your opinions. I'm gonna start with you, Jordan. What was your thoughts on the reveal that Ethan has actually been dead since the events of RE7? The
That was
fact
fucked up.
Super spoiler. Even the music popped up when I said super spoiler. I
For
was
real.
like picture perfect.
say it again, I didn't hear anything.
I said it was a super spoiler while your music went.
Yeah.
So it was like perfect timing. Even Gabe saw it.
So what
Just so
was
you
your
know, but
so what was your thoughts on that? Ethan
Look,
is dead.
me?
Yes.
I was shocked
Yeah,
and
Jordan.
confused. I was shocked and confused
Yeah.
because I didn't even know he died in 7 until they. Well,
Nobody
we all
knows
didn't
that
know
until
until
they
they
flat
showed
out
that
tell you
damn
this.
thing. But yeah, I was just shocked and confused. Like, how the hell is he still alive? And then we heard he got infected by the mold, and the mold is keeping him alive. And then he can heal himself genetically, which was fucking weird. But overall,
I think yes. It was just the moment he got his heart ripped out by Miranda. I'm like, here,
Like-
yo, it's over for him. The
he should have
Should
been
be,
dead.
yes.
He should have been
end of
dead.
the road
Absolutely.
for Ethan.
I don't know. How does people feel about Ethan as a character, as a protagonist? I don't like him. I still don't like him. I think he's corny. And Chris would have been. I should have had more Chris in this. That would have
Listen,
been satisfying for me.
My thoughts. I do like Ethan. I don't mind Ethan. Is Ethan better than Leon, Chris,
Hell
Jill,
no.
Claire? Absolutely
no.
not. Absolutely not. Not even close. Not even a competition. Nowhere near them. But for these two games, I think he served the role perfectly. The everyday man. The one game trying to save his wife, and then the other trying to save his daughter. I don't mind it, and I think his exit with his death. Like I told you, Castle, I thought he had a hero's farewell.
Oh no, absolutely.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
that also helps now looking back on it because the story has been told. It helps give his character more like, yo, this dude's a hero. The way he went out, this dude's a
No.
hero.
Him throughout the game, actually going through the trials and hopping over them fences and pulling that stunt at the end, I have that respect for the character. But as a personal character, would I pick him in like RE Verse or some shit like that down the road?
No.
Absolutely fucking not.
No, yeah.
No
In that
fucking
regard,
not.
so that's the thing. As a character, he doesn't come close to any of the actual mainstays at this point. He doesn't come even close.
I mean, in my opinion, I like Ethan.
I like Ethan.
Again, he wasn't the greatest, but I liked his personality. He was cool. He tried. He wasn't a hero, and they made it known that he really wasn't. He was just a regular ass dude.
And I honestly did love. I love Resident Evil 7. I love that twist that he was actually dead. The fact that Jack Baker killed him in the opening section of that game. Just now, that reveal in this game makes RE7 even more impactful now to look back on.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Makes
see
you
Did
think
that
play
whole
it.
thing.
RE7
dead
and
already.
RE8 are the two games in the franchise that feel like instead of like two sequels, where games like the Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 are like three completely different games with completely different protagonists, completely different stories, each in their own way. Here, 7 and 8 feel like one big cohesive story, just one big story, one big game,
A book in the Resident Evil series.
a book.
Yeah, like a book.
And I loved it. The twist came out of nowhere. Now
No,
there is
story
this-
wise, I have no complaints there. That was
I don't know if you guys seen this.
Great
I know it's up
storytelling.
to you, Jordan. So in the
Oh
other
yeah,
game,
the ending.
the end of the game when Rose. So going on. First of all, if we have a 20-year gap,
That's
will make
what it
Chris-
is, like a 20-year gap.
Yeah, that will make Chris like 60 years old.
Yeah. Really
like
old.
Joel.
So unless they're going for the old Snake feel, I don't know what's gonna happen with all our favorite mainstays.
Snake bending over, needing patches in the game. You remember this in MGS4?
No, they're gonna do a whole bunch of fucking remakes before they go on to Resident Evil 9.
Unless Castle and I were talking about this the other day, unless she's rapid aging, right? That's what happened to Evelyn. Evelyn went from little girl to old in like a matter of nothing.
Yeah, she's aging, and you know she's being followed by the Secret Service, which means they're using her for something.
And Chris is involved, so that seems like Chris and Rose are going to be the stars of RE9. How do you all feel about possibly playing with Rose in RE9?
Well, if she plays
It's gonna
anything
be
like
weird.
Sherry did in 6, that'll be dope.
She has abilities, clearly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know how she looked at the dude?
I'm
She
just
said,
going to go
"Don't you
with
ever
this.
say that fucking
gonna
name
go-
again."
I'm going to go with this prediction. I think RE9 will not be first person.
Nope.
I think because the whole thing with Ethan, right? The whole first person aspect is you don't see Ethan's face. You're Ethan, the player's Ethan. But the fact that we're seeing Rose's face, we've seen her character. I don't think RE9 is going to be first person. I think we're going to go to third person, or they're going to just do something that's not going to be first person. I think.
All right.
I
I
second
agree with that as well.
No.
I agree with that as well.
Probably not for the same reasons, because like the most successful remakes were third person shoulder cam remakes.
Yes, but RE7 just topped the best selling Resident Evil game. That's the first person game. Yes, it was announced last week.
But 7 or 8?
7.
Wow.
Not counting re-releases, because this was stated, not counting like for example, Resident Evil 4 has been on every fucking console, right? So you can't actually make that legit comparison. But on a single release versus single release, RE7 is the best selling Resident Evil game now.
Wow.
That's
Well, that's
impressive.
an awesome achievement. Yeah, awesome achievement.
So that's
I have no
what I'm saying.
complaints about 7.
Already the first person aspect is working.
And you know,
But maybe-
I know Resident Evil will go back to that eventually. They're gonna do it again.
That's the thing. That's the thing with Resident Evil, right? Whether it's the first person of 7 or 8, or the third person of 4, the remakes of 2 and 3, or the tank controls, the franchise has reinvented itself so many times, and in my opinion, they've been awesome in all of them.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
kicking them.
Look, I know you guys. Look, hold on a second. I know you guys, get on me a lot about Dead Aim, but I'm about to tell you something. Dead Aim was the first Resident Evil to deploy any kind of first person besides Resident Evil Survivor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that's not true.
Ah,
Survival was
Hold on. It employed a hybrid camera. When
Yes.
you would shoot,
first person,
it would
third
go.
person.
Yeah.
Well, how do you-
So,
Ash,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but I'm just going to point this out real quick. How do you explain Code Veronica X's first person shooting little
all right, but
mini
that's
game?
but that's different though. That's a mini game.
Yeah, but that's first person shooting Resident Evil.
All right. Well, you know what? All right. Whatever. I'm saying as an actual game mechanic. Like
I like playing with the first person Magnum and Albert Wesker.
It's cool. It's very cool. But look, we're talking about
For
main
those of you who don't
series.
know, Ash had we did a top 5, and we got 3 people watching, right? So Ash, when we did a top 5 Resident Evil games, Ash put Resident Evil Dead Aim, an infamously known bad Resident Evil, on his top 5 favorite Resident Evils, including the fact that it was not only in his top 5, it was above Resident Evil 5. And then when you consider the fact that he did not include games like Resident Evil 7 on his list, it makes that hard to swallow.
I'm so sorry that my opinions are sour.
I respect
But-
all opinions.
Look, I'm just saying that as a consistent game mechanic, Dead Aim actually did that part fairly well.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, there was
they improved. Yeah, they improved the first-person mechanic of Survivor. I mean, the gap between Survivor and Dead Aim is like years, right?
it's huge. It's
But
fucking huge.
even that is meaningless now because 7 and 8 perfected the first-person formula
Right.
for Resident Evil.
And I understand that. I'm just saying that is, another reason why I like playing it. That hybrid camera was interesting. It's different. It's something different.
Eventually, guys, we're gonna do a ranking of all the main Resident Evil games, in which we will include obviously 8 on that list. Ash won't have to explain the name because that name is not canon. So, but we are waiting on Mr. Castle here to finish Revelations 1 and 2 for that.
Oh, right. Yes. You're right.
So we will be doing that. So back to the
Have
discussion.
fun with Norman.
So back to the discussion of Village. Let's talk about that. Touch that on a quick sample. Jordan touched upon this earlier, but Village is your favorite Resident Evil now, right, Jordan? At top 4?
Correct.
All right. So now, Castle, does Resident Evil Village made it to your top 5?
I don't even remember what my top 5 was. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. 7 was on the list. I would have to bump out.
Number 5. Your first set was the original Resident Evil. So you started the list.
Yeah, that's gonna have to bump out. I think we're already good on the nostalgia, right?
Okay.
So I put Village up there, bumping out Resident Evil for sure.
All right. Ash, is Resident Evil Village on your top 5 now?
For sure. I'm definitely bumping Resident Evil 5 out of there, even though I played the holy shit out of it, and you guys already know.
I'm gonna be honest. I debated with this myself, and I kept beating the game over because I'm like, I gotta make sure what I'm saying is absolutely correct for me. And Resident Evil Village does not top my top 5. I love the game. The game's amazing, but the games in my top 5, I still enjoy more. So
and that's respectable as well.
It would definitely be the number 6, but it does not. I debated a lot on whether does it top the Resident Evil 3 remake. I love the Resident Evil 3 remake. I honestly love that game, and to me, it didn't top that over the top action of the remake of RE3. And I still prefer getting stalked by the Nemesis, right? I still prefer dealing with the zombies. I still love Jill Valentine. It just, after debating on it so much, I'm like, no, Village is not top my top 5, and the remake of 3 will stay at number 5.
You know what? I respect that. I respect that as well. But I had a pretty, let's say, weak number 5, Resident Evil 5. So, yeah, definitely Resident Evil 8 tops that for sure. It has to, But the thing is, my top 3.
For the people watching, no matter what, Ash is still the guy with that aim on his top 5.
I like that game. It is what it is. Hold on a second. I will say, out of my top 3, though, especially the original Resident Evil, which was my number 1, Resident Evil 8 doesn't come close to that kind of perfection. I mean, that game was chef's kiss. I mean, I know you like the remake better. I love the original, Brian.
I take nothing from the original. The original is still a blast to play. I take nothing away from the original.
To be honest, the thing about the original is the Nemesis is in there. He stalks you. He comes out of fucking nowhere with no noise. Does. All of a sudden, raw stars, roar. It starts fucking you up.
Yeah, right there in the garden, like right there in that little V. He jumps out at you right there. You don't even see him. They just start stalking.
No, like, I have a rant. I want to talk about Resident Evil 8 because there's one thing that me and Castle we touch upon it, but I haven't talked to Jordan or you, Ash, about it. It's why is the Samurai Edge so fucking weak when it's a gun that comes with the deluxe edition, so it costs real life money. It is the weakest gun in the game. It cannot be upgraded. It cannot be put infinite ammo on. What the fuck was the point of that gun in the game?
I have no idea. Because
was
by
so
the time you
excited.
get to
I'm so
the Duke,
excited.
you have enough money to upgrade the Lemmy and make it strong. It makes no sense.
The first handgun in the game is stronger than the Samurai Edge without any upgrades. I was
Trash.
so excited. I'm like, yo, I'm putting the Samurai Edge. Oh yeah, baby. I'm running around. I'm like, yo, this shit feels pretty weak. Let me look at the stats. It's weaker than the regular handgun in the game. It's weaker. You can't
I
upgrade
think-
it.
All right, fair enough. It maybe that's just like a glitch. Maybe they're gonna update that. They have to, because all the guns are modifiable in that game. That can't be the only one that can't be modified. There's no way. It doesn't make sense to me in my head.
And it
I don't
costs
think
real
people-
money.
Right,
You
and
can
I
only
don't think
get it if you have
Capcom
the
knew
deluxe
what they were
edition
doing
pack.
when they did
And
that.
the deluxe edition shit, if you didn't buy the deluxe edition, it's $12.
I will say,
Yo, in
The
all
thing about that-
honesty,
hold on,
the
wait,
Samurai
wait.
Edge.
it does get really good headshots.
Well,
I will say
what
that
doesn't,
I
what doesn't
used-
matter once you power up your other guns? It's useless.
That's it. It's a junk gun. It's literally a junk gun.
And in RE7, the gun was so fantastic. I don't understand what happened.
I don't know either. They gotta
Uh,
upgrade that at
That's
least.
I say it's a glitch in the matrix. I'm hoping Capcom sees that enough people complain about it to them. They got to do it. In all honesty, that gun is a special gun. That's a gun that's been around since the very first Resident Evil game ever came out. The fucking M9.
In some variation or another, because there are
Right.
some different ones.
But anyway, the point is that the actual potential of the gun should be maxed out on all 5 statistics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that special of a gun. It's like a novelty. It's like finding Excalibur in the fucking stone for Resident Evil games.
All right. I actually,
And-
this question just came to my head. So I want to say before I completely forget, and I'm going to run it through all of you one by one. And I'm going to start with you, Castle. What does Resident Evil 8 do better than 7? But also, what did RE7 do better than Resident Evil 8?
Okay, this is easy for me. The gun battles in Village are far better than 7.
Okay.
Far better. Obviously, it was meant to be that way. And you didn't do, and for 7 versus 8, you didn't do half as much backtracking in 7
That is fair. That is true. Okay.
as you did in 8.
Jordan, I'm going to go with you now. What did RE8 do better than 7? But what did RE7 do better than 8?
What did RE8 do better than 7?
Yeah. And then what did 7 do better than 8? One of each.
Can you go to me last?
You want to think
I need
about
time-
it?
I need time. Yeah.
You want to, okay. That's fair. That's fair. So I'm actually going to go before you go, Ash. What does 7 do better than 8? In my opinion, I still think 7 is a scarier game than 8. Despite Has-Been Evento and the opening section of 8, by comparison, the rest of the game is not as scary as compared to 7, which is just constant fear with Jack Baker and Marguerite and all this stuff. I like the setting of 7 more, the old house as to being abandoned and all that. I like that. But I agree with Castle. What did 8 do better? It's just the gameplay is better, more fun. But I mean, we're going to go
It's
one
smoother.
beyond that. We're going to go one beyond that. I find the boss fights in 8 to be better than 7. Lady Dimitrescu was a blaster fight. The House Beneviento thing, right? The first time is dope. The second time is dope. Disappointing, but Moreau was pretty cool. And the Heisenberg fight was just over the top. And I love the fight with Mother Miranda. And if it comes to just final boss versus final boss, it just blows 7 out the water because that's where 7 just dropped the ball. Yes, the lack of the fight was final boss was pathetic. Ash, now I'm gonna go with you. What did 8 do better than 7? But what did 7 do better than 8?
So I'm going to touch upon a couple of things because I agree with everything you said. The boss battles are much better in 8. Gameplay's better, fighting's better, combat, everything, all that is completely smoothed over in Resident Evil 8. I have to say the other thing that I like better in 8, and you know, even though it's less scary, there is a lot more to do. Like it's a much bigger game than Resident Evil 7. You know, and we all have to admit that. Despite the backtracking sections, it is a big ass game. I mean, it's
By
pretty big.
comparison, yeah.
Yeah. By comparison, far bigger. And I
What does
really
7 do better
enjoyed
than
the
8 for you?
hold on. And I also like the exploring in 8. However, 7, yeah, still remains a much scarier game, like you said. And to be honest, in 7, I really preferred the voice acting a lot better. I know that's like a weird complaint, but
No.
you know, I preferred the voice acting. It was more like realistic. It was more like a camp story, like watching a movie. And in Resident Evil 8, it was more like watching this crazy opera happening in front of you, and you're like, what the fuck? 'Cause,
All right, that's fair.
and Resident Evil 7 also definitely did the creepy factor, in certain sections, a lot more than, like, for example, Village compared to Marguerite's house. Man, Marguerite's house is a pain in the ass. It's scary as hell, and it drives you nuts. Yeah, just straight disturbing.
And
is
this
my
is done on purpose because Capcom did state a couple weeks ago that 8 scare factor was dumbed down because there was a lot of fans who found RE7 too scary, and I don't agree with that. Like, yes, 7 is scarier, but you shouldn't let surveys and all this decide how scary RE8 is. If they could have done 8 scarier, if you're playing Resident Evil, you should be in it to get scared.
Right.
See, that was the trick with the tank control games, is that they would have these fixed cameras that you never see what's going on the other side of that camera.
Right. And Resident Evil 3 did it perfectly. Resident Evil 1 was always good with that, but Resident Evil 3 did it perfect because with that ambience, and then you hear sometimes the little, like, dun, dun,
And the
dun,
composition of music for the environments that also
I
gave
have
the
to
creep
say,
factor to the old games.
The soundtrack for 8 is better than 7.
Ambient.
All right,
Yeah.
Jordan, did you think about your answer?
Yeah, I want to like having a merchant in RE8 was good because it reminded me a little bit about Part 4.
Okay.
And I think in the game he mentioned that he knew him or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says the line. He's like, "Hey, what are you buying?" And then he like laughs, and he's like, "It's something a friend of mine used to say."
An
or
old
something
friend
like
of
that.
mine used to say. All right, so you like the fact that 8 has a merchant or 7 don't. So
yeah,
but
7? Okay, so I like that 7 has. Okay, I like that 7 has safe boxes. I wish 8 had safe boxes because, you only you do have a big inventory in the end if you buy it. But yeah, starting out, hell no. It's like you can't carry everything because you got what 4 big guns.
Yeah.
And then the other part, I want to say Madhouse. I love Madhouse, and I thought it was way harder than Village of Shadows.
Madhouse
honestly.
is more fun to play than Village of Shadows because not only did I change enemy placement, not only did I make the game harder, it went back to that old school saving. You needed the tape recorder to save. Village of Shadows, you save whenever the hell you want. So yes, I do agree with you, and I was not expecting that. I do agree. Madhouse is a better, higher difficulty to play than Village of Shadows.
I honestly preferred Village of Shadows. Madhouse is harder because there's less stuff, and there's no infinite ammo,
and there's no saving. You can't save either.
And
save. There's no auto save, and you can only save if you find the recordings.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. I preferred Village of Shadows because of the combat, man. That was intense as hell. Like, it definitely brought out a challenge out of me. Like, I was struggling for a minute there with fucking Heisenberg. Oh my God. Dude, he's a tank, literally speaking. I at that point, he really becomes the monster that he looks like, and he's hard as hell to kill.
Yeah.
But when you finally kill him, it's so satisfying. And Chris's section in Village of Shadows, only for
fuck that
pros.
part.
Can we just
Only
say
for
that, can we
pros.
just say that Chris's whole section is a reminder of like RE6 and RE5, just pure
Yes.
gun down action all over the damn place.
Yeah, it was a very
Absolutely.
definitely fan service for the action guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
sure.
you are a fan of like the RE5, RE6 type game, Critic section, you're gonna love. If you're somebody who hates RE5 and 6, you're probably gonna hate Critic section.
I'm gonna say
It's fair
the
to
only
say.
thing they didn't do, and thank God they didn't do it, is have him punch a boulder. HGH Chris over there.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. I did not enjoy playing any mainline Resident Evil games, 5 and 6 included.
No, I've enjoyed all of them.
There
Even
was
the
there was
bad-
aspects of every one of those games that was enjoyable for each people, for each person who played. Like I love the mercenary modes in 5 and 6.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I
lie.
like-
We need it.
I like the actual action of 6. The mercenary in 6 is the dopest still, even now. Still the dopest.
So now that you touch on mercenaries, what are everybody's thoughts on the mercenaries of RE8? Because it's definitely the most different one.
Yes.
Oh my
I
God,
like
it's difficult.
I absolutely
It is
enjoy it.
just it is a test of your patience. That's
right.
what
It
that is. That is a test
It
of
is.
patience. I'm still getting through it right now, trying to triple S everything. I'm trying to be the best, the best that ever was and never will be. But damn, it's hard.
It's fun. I like the whole grabbing the power up. You gotta select one.
Yeah,
and
it's
I like how that
arcadey.
carries over. It's definitely the most different. But is it the best one? I agree. Castle. I think RE6 might still have the best mercenaries, but it's definitely a blast to play, and it's definitely a good thing to see the mode return.
See,
After-
look, if you think
Remind me-
After
about
the mode was mysteriously missing from the RE3 remake.
all right,
Yeah,
now look,
right?
check this out. Before we're still just gonna talk until we're done. Because I just wanted to point one thing out. The reason why I like 6's mercenary mode is because it reminds me of the CGI movies, and
Kind of.
the way the way they fight and stuff like that. Like Leon had very martial arts based combat situation, and he liked a double pistol. That was my favorite mercenary
Especially
character
if
to
you
play.
take off the HUD, it looks just like that.
It's absolutely amazing how he moves around and he's got the little trick shots and all that shit. And Helena, like they all have their little action moves. And then, god damn it, Jake Mueller. Jake Mueller.
Somebody's
Yeah,
audio
I
going
hear
the fuck wild.
I hear it.
What?
Hello?
What's happening? I'm confused.
Talk.
All right, hello?
No, I think it might be you this time. Hold on. Talk, Ash.
Is it me?
No, I think is it everybody this time?
I
Hello?
don't know what's happening.
Somebody's thing's going crazy.
Is
Can
it
you tell me,
mine?
John? Hello?
Hello?
No, it's going crazy. It's going crazy.
Hello?
It might be. Maybe the stream's getting hot.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe time to call it a day, Brian.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here.
Right.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed the video.
we had a good one. Let's not let
Later,
the stream
fellas.
go crazy. Bye.